Dating can feel like a mystery sometimes, especially when things don't go the way you hoped. You may find yourself stuck in the same kinds of relationships, running into familiar problems, or wondering why things keep ending the same way. This is where understanding your dating patterns comes in. Everyone has patterns in their relationships, whether it's who they tend to be attracted to or how they behave when things start to get serious. Recognizing these patterns is the first step to breaking free from habits that might not serve you well. It can help you attract healthier connections and build more meaningful relationships in the future. One common pattern is being drawn to people who feel familiar, even if that familiarity isn't necessarily good for you. Maybe you tend to date people who are emotionally unavailable because that feels normal, especially if you grew up in an environment where love felt distant or conditional. Or perhaps you go after partners who need to be fixed because you're used to taking on the role of caregiver. The tricky part about these patterns is that they often happen without you realizing it. That's why awareness is so important. It allows you to make more intentional choices instead of repeating the same cycles. Emotional patterns also play a big role in dating. For example, some people have a tendency to shut down emotionally when things get difficult. Others might seek constant reassurance from their partner, which can lead to tension. These patterns are often rooted in past experiences, like previous relationships or even childhood dynamics. The way you attach to others, whether securely or anxiously, shapes how you interact in relationships. Learning to spot these emotional triggers can help you respond differently the next time they come up. Another major dating pattern is how you handle conflict. Some people avoid confrontation at all costs, sweeping issues under the rug until they pile up. Others might confront problems aggressively, which can push partners away. If you find yourself in repeated arguments about the same things or feeling misunderstood in every relationship, it might be time to look at how you communicate. Understanding your conflict style isn't about assigning blame, but rather about recognizing what you can adjust to foster healthier conversations. Commitment patterns are also a big one. Some people jump into relationships too quickly, while others struggle with committing at all. If you tend to rush into relationships, it might be because you crave closeness and fear being alone. On the other hand, if you have a hard time committing, it could be tied to a fear of vulnerability or getting hurt. Neither approach is necessarily wrong, but understanding your pattern helps you strike a balance between moving too fast and holding back too much. One way to start overcoming unhealthy patterns is by reflecting on your past relationships. Think about what worked, what didn't, and what felt familiar in each of them. Were there any recurring themes? Maybe you noticed that your relationships ended the moment things got serious, or maybe you kept picking partners who weren't ready for a relationship. This kind of reflection can be uncomfortable, but it's essential for growth. Once you see your patterns, you can begin to make conscious changes moving forward. Mindfulness is another powerful tool for breaking free from dating patterns. It helps you stay present instead of getting caught up in old habits or fears. When you're mindful, you're more aware of your thoughts and emotions, which allows you to respond rather than react. For example, if you notice yourself pulling away emotionally because you're scared of getting hurt, mindfulness gives you the space to acknowledge that fear without letting it control your actions. Therapy can also be incredibly helpful, especially if your patterns run deep or feel hard to change on your own. A therapist can help you explore where these patterns come from and offer strategies for shifting them. Sometimes, just having someone to talk things through with can provide clarity and make it easier to see things from a new perspective. Therapy isn't about fixing yourself. It's about understanding yourself better and learning new ways to connect with others. It's also important to practice self-compassion throughout this process. Changing long-held patterns takes time, and you're bound to make mistakes along the way. Be kind to yourself when things don't go perfectly. Every step you take toward understanding and overcoming your patterns is progress, even if it doesn't always feel like it. Growth isn't linear, and it's okay to stumble as long as you keep moving forward. One key takeaway here is that awareness is everything. You can't change a pattern you don't recognize, so the first step is always about noticing what's happening. Another important insight is that patterns aren't necessarily bad. They just need to be understood. Some patterns might even protect you, but others could be holding you back. The goal is to identify which ones serve you and which ones don't. Overcoming dating patterns isn't about becoming a different person. It's about becoming more aware of who you are and learning to make choices that align with the kind of relationships you want. When you understand your patterns, you gain the power to change them, and that's where real growth happens. You'll find that with every step forward, you'll attract better connections and build relationships that feel more fulfilling. It's not an overnight process, but with patience and self-awareness, it's entirely possible to break free from old cycles and create something new.